November 2019. I was standing at his doorsteps after 14 years. The good old AGC Bose Road behind me was awfully quiet today, dampened by the rain. Dusk was falling on the small courtyard outside his house. No street lights beaming over his mother's kitchen garden. No traffic echoing in its corners. I stood at his door, staring at the wooden nameplate I had nailed in almost 2 decades ago now. The tiny blotch of my blood under his name had turned brown over the years. The door opened before I could knock. A young girl, perhaps in her late teens, stood in the dark veranda with a torch. দিদিমা আপনাকে উপর থেকে দেখেছেন, আসুন. The girl led the way, shining the torch before my feet as we climbed the winding wooden stairwell. Our footsteps echoed at a uniform beat, almost like we had rehearsed this. আপনি সুজানা দিদিমণি না? The girl asked. দিদিমা আপনার ব্যাপারে অনেক গল্প করে. এই সাবধানে, এখানে একটা সিঁড়ি ভাঙা আছে. She didn't have to tell me that. I have known these stairs from before she was born. Generator-টা কাজ করছে না? I asked her, almost as if to let her know that I know this house. ওই জেনারেটর ভেঙেছে কতকাল হলো? She chuckled. Of course. It's been 14 years. At the curve of the first landing, a door stood ajar. The girl pushed it open and walked in, taking the light with her. I stood at the threshold in silence. In the faint haze of twilight, I could make out the silhouettes of his old-fashioned furniture. The massive sofa set in the center of the room, the chandelier hanging over it, the ivory-topped table sitting in the corner, and the harmonium on top of it, the glass bookshelf running from one end of the room to another, and the gods on the altar next to the window. His house still smelled of sandalwood and old books. I squinted at the walls, looking for that garland-draped photograph. Just then, a ray of dim light entered the room.
এই অবস্থা একা এলি? মা, সে কি কথা?
I walked in and bent down to touch Kakima's feet. She hurriedly stopped me midway, placing the lantern in her hand on the dining table.
থাক মা, এই অবস্থায় বেশি ঝুঁকতে নেই.
In the small light of the lantern, I studied the woman standing before me. The round, chubby cheeks that I had known had dissolved into a gaunt, sagging face. Her hair, which used to make me sit and color every other Saturday afternoon, were now grey and disheveled. My beautiful Kakima had aged a century in a decade.
দেখো মেয়ের কাণ্ড, চোখে কাজল নেই, সিঁথিতে সিঁদুর নেই.
Kakima scolded, helping me sit down in a chair. আমাকে জ্ঞান দিচ্ছ? নিজেকে দেখেছো একবার আয়নায়? I said.
আমার কথা বাদ দে, আমার 3 কাল গিয়ে 1 কালে ঠেকেছে. তোর কথা বল, তুই কেমন আছিস? কত মাস চলছে?
I couldn't talk to her about that, so I changed the topic. তোমার ঠাকুর ঘর আজকে অন্ধকার যে? সন্ধে দাওনি? I watched as her face fell.
আমি পুজো করি না আর.
কাকু কই? ওনাকে দেখছি না যে? She didn't speak for a while.
তোর কাকু আজকাল ঘরে থাকে না, সারাদিন রাস্তায় রাস্তায় ঘুরে বেড়ায়. দিনের শেষে শুধু ঘুমোতে আসে. দোষ তুই কি করে বল? খালি ঘর যে আমাকেও কামড়াতে দৌড়ায়।
I tried to imagine the man Kakima was describing. A lost, heartbroken father. But I couldn't. The man I knew as Om's father was a proud and headstrong barrister. A staunch Hindu patriarch who detested my presence in his house. The presence of a Christian girl in his son's life. ওমকে জোর করে বাড়ি থেকে দূরে তো উনি প্রথম পাঠিয়েছিলেন। I don't know why I said that. It was such a low blow, accusing him that way. But I guess I was still angry on some level. I had to blame someone for what happened next.
কাকে ছেড়ে কাকে দোষ দি বল? বাবা রাগ করে বলে, ঘর থেকে বেরিয়ে যা। ছেলে অমনি ব্যাগ বস্তা নিয়ে হাঁটা দিল। মাঝে পড়ে পিষলাম তুই আর আমি।
I laugh as memories flooded my mind. April 2005. I was sitting on the edge of Om's bed, watching as he drifted from one end of the room to another, stuffing random things into his suitcase.
I can't stay in this house anymore.
He said, rolling a clump of unwashed t-shirts and putting it in his bag. Come on, man, he didn't mean that. He was just being mad. He doesn't want you to leave. Om heaved a deep sigh and stood up straight, letting the ball of clothes in his hand fall to the floor.
Did you not hear the things he said about you? The names he called you? Susie, he is never going to accept our relationship.
And you think moving to Delhi is going to change his mind? I said. My temper was rising too.
এখানে থাকলে আমাদের কোনো ফিউচার হবে না। তুই বুঝছিস না কেন? দিল্লিতে অনেক জব অপরচুনিটিস আছে। একবার এক্সপিরিয়েন্স হয়ে গেলে চাকরি নিয়ে কলকাতা ফিরে আসবো।
বছরের পর বছর লেগে যায় কলকাতায় চাকরি পেতে ওম। তোর এই প্রমিসের কোনো বেসিস আছে? There was silence for a while. And then he said,
Why are you so against me moving to Delhi?
Because I didn't know how to end that sentence. Because I couldn't say out loud what I was thinking.
Wait, are you scared I'm going to, I don't know, cheat on you or something?
He said, sounding almost surprised. I sighed, feeling almost guilty at my thought.
তোর যা ভাবার তুই ভাব। I can't talk to you when you are being unreasonable.
He laughed, throwing his hands up in the air.
Thanks a lot for all the trust and support though.
My voice dropped a few decibels. Of course I trust you. It's just তুই একা একা সব ডিসাইড করে নিলি। আমাকে একবার জিজ্ঞেস করার প্রয়োজন মনে করলি না যে আমি তোর সাথে দিল্লি যেতে চাই কিনা? Dude, everything is happening so fast. I'm not ready for all this change. Om walked across the room and stopped a few inches in front of me. The late afternoon sunlight glistened on his sweaty forehead, turning his ruffled dark hair brown.
Will you please, for the love of God, trust me once?
He said, his voice almost a whisper. I looked at his face and forced myself to ward off the fear, my greatest fear. Okay, you win, I said. Then, planting a light kiss on my forehead, Om picked up his suitcase and walked out the room. As I pushed open his bedroom door, a hint of floor cleaner in the air hit me. Kakima still cleans his room. Was she still hoping for a return? Walking over to the shelf next to his bed, I slid open the glass pane. 14 years ago, this would have been locked. In there sat his beloved cricket bat. the marker-inked autograph of Saurav Ganguly glinting in the fading light of twilight. Nobody had cherished it in over a year. As I reached in to pick it up, a small box, smaller than the palm of my hand, fell out. Its bright red color stood out even in the dim light. My heart started to race as I touched its velvety surface. I didn't have to open it to know what was inside. But almost involuntarily, I snapped it open. A pair of flat gold wedding bands stared back at me. One of them smaller and slimmer. The other one just big enough to slip through Om's knuckle. June 2006.
I made a mistake, okay?
Om pleaded from the other end of the phone. I remained speechless, frozen to the spot in the corner of my bed. The rest of the world was going on and about outside my window. Cars honking, people yelling. The evening rush hour at its peak. My world had hit a halt.
After we had that fight, I wasn't thinking straight. And I had a lot to drink.
I could hear the pain in his voice. Something that could have ripped my heart until last night. Today, however, I didn't feel a thing.
I called you so many times, Susie. You would not even talk to me. I got mad, okay? রেগে গিয়ে একটা ভুল করে ফেলেছি.
So it's my fault? I heard myself saying. You slept with another woman because I wouldn't talk to you.
No, that's not what I meant. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. আমি জেনে বুঝে করিনি, বিশ্বাস কর.
I slipped back into my silence. My fingers were beginning to go numb. My mind sinking into a deep, dark place.
Tell me, how can I fix this?
His voice floated into my ears from the other end.
তুই যা বলবি আমি তাই করব. আমি কি করব বল?
The sound of his voice seemed to be coming from a distant place, as if echoing off the walls of a deep well I had fallen into.
Susie, please talk to me. I promise I'll do whatever you say. Just tell me what you want.
I want you to be dead to me. আমি আর কোনোদিন তোকে ক্ষমা করতে পারবো না। আমি কোনোদিন তোর গলা শুনতে চাই না, তোর মুখ দেখতে চাই না। I want you to be dead to me. Yeah, that's what I want. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a while.
I'm so sorry, Susie. Please.
My fingers fumbled over the call disconnect button. And then, everything was silent again. I had curled up on his bed. I didn't know how much time had passed. I didn't care how many times my husband had called, or how many prenatal vitamins I had forgotten. My world had come to a stop again, and I didn't know what to do.
Susie?
Kakima walked in soundlessly. I felt the bed sink as Kakima sat down next to me and rested her hand on my head. তোমরা আমাকে একবার ডাকার প্রয়োজন মনে করনি? এত কিছু হয়ে গেল, আমাকে একবার জানালেও না? Kakima started stroking my hair.
কি করে জানাতাম বল? তোর ফোন নাম্বার, কোনো অ্যাড্রেস কিছুই তো ছিল না আমাদের কাছে।
তো খুঁজে বার করতে আমার মা বাবা এখান থেকে 10 মিনিটের দূরত্বে থাকে।
আমি চেষ্টা করেছিলাম, বিশ্বাস কর।
আমি শেষবারটার মতো ওর মুখটাও দেখতে পারলাম না কাকিমা। I cried out. All my reservations, shame, care of what the world might think, everything had just come undone. Kakima's hand shifted.
কেন? তুই তো বলেছিলিস আর কোনোদিন ওর মুখ দেখতে চাস না।
I couldn't breathe anymore. I pulled myself up and looked Kakima straight in the eye. তোমরা ওকে কাশ্মীর যেতে দিলে কি করে বলো তো? কেন যেতে দিলে?
ও কোনোদিন কারোর কথা শুনেছে মা?
Kakima said, resigned. I don't know how long we sat there in silence. My fingers had loosened over the ring box. I just sat there looking out the window. The sky outside the window was dark now. The rain had stopped. Every now and then, thunders rumbled in the distance. Kakima started speaking again.
শেষের দিকে তো কতদিন কথা হয়নি। ওই কি যে ফোন লাইন, ইন্টারনেট লাইন সব কেটে দিল। তোর কাকু সে কত দৌড়াদৌড়ি করেছিল, কত হেল্পলাইনে ফোন করা, চিঠি লেখা। ছেলেটার যদি কোনো একটা খবর পাওয়া যায়। তারপর একদিন কয়েকজন লোক ওর বডি নিয়ে আসলো।
Her last words sent a rending pain through my chest. I closed my eyes shut and waited for the worst. শেষবার যখন কথা হয়েছিল, আমি ওকে মরে যেতে বলেছিলাম। I heard myself confess. আমি ওর মৃত্যু কামনা করেছিলাম কাকিমা। রাগের মাথায় বলে ফেলেছিলাম, বিশ্বাস করো। Kakima started stroking my hair again.
ওরা বলল ভোরবেলা নাকি বম ব্লাস্ট হয়েছিল। ছেলেটা ঘুমিয়েছিল নিশ্চয়ই ওই সময়। নিজের মনকে ওই ভেবেই সান্ত্বনা দিই যে কোনো কষ্ট পাইনি।
আমাকে পারলে ক্ষমা করে দিও কাকিমা। আমি মন থেকে ওর এত বড় ক্ষতি কোনোদিন চাইনি। She rested her hand on my forehead and said,
তুইও ওকে ক্ষমা করে দিস।